What if a river's name could tell you the story of its own destruction? Today, we're going to dive into a river in West Java whose name holds the secret to both a vibrant, colorful past and a really polluted present.
So this is the Citarum River. For centuries, it was the absolute lifeblood of Sundanese culture. But today, it's known for a much, much darker reason. It's one of the most polluted rivers on the entire planet. And the wildest part, the deep, tragic irony of it all, is hidden right there in its name.
So that's the big question for us today. How did we get here? How does a place that was literally synonymous with natural color and beauty become a poster child for environmental disaster? Well, the answer is a story about tradition, industry, and a plant that was almost forgotten.
And here it is. The name Citarum literally means indigo river. C is water and tarum is the indigo plant. It was named for the very plant that used to grow all along its banks, the source of this brilliant natural blue dye. Just think about that for a second. The river that is now choked with chemical textile pollution is named after the plant that represents the sustainable natural alternative. It's just wow. So what on earth happened?
To really get this, we have to rewind the clock. We need to go back to a time when this plant wasn't just a plant, it was called blue gold, and it was the absolute heart of the region's economy and its culture.
Just look at how deep these roots go. Indigo isn't just some old-fashioned dye. It's ancient. We're talking records of it from 4,000 years ago. It was so important that an entire kingdom, the Tarum kingdom, was named after it. And by the 1830s, this place was the epicenter of a massive global trade in natural indigo.
And you know, it was never just about money or trade. Indigo was sacred. It meant something. It was a connection to the divine, a symbol of leadership and real power. It was literally woven into the spiritual fabric of this society.
So, to put it simply, the Citarum plant was everything. It was wealth, it was spirituality, it was cultural identity. It was the color of life all along the Citarum. And then, everything changed.
And this brings us to the huge turning point in our story, the synthetic revolution. It was this incredible scientific breakthrough that seemed like a miracle at the time, but it came with a terrible hidden price tag.
So, industrial chemistry comes along and gives the world synthetic dyes. And for the textile industry, this was a total game changer. Suddenly, you could create color that was incredibly fast, always consistent, and way, way cheaper. That slow, ritualistic process of natural dyeing, it just couldn't compete with the demands of mass production.
The contrast is pretty stark, right? On one side, you have the natural process. It's slow, it's connected to the land, and any waste just goes right back into the earth. No problem. But on the other side, you have the synthetic process. It's lightning fast, it's efficient, but it creates all of this hazardous chemical waste that has to go somewhere. And I think you can guess where somewhere usually ended up being. Yep, right into the Citarum River. That transition to synthetic dyes had a direct and absolutely devastating impact on the environment.
This quote from the research just nails it. The very same industry that once thrived because of the river's namesake plant is now the main reason it's so polluted. The Indigo River became a dumping ground for artificial colors.
And the cost has just been enormous. We're talking about severely contaminated water, toxic chemicals, whole ecosystems just dying. But it's also a cultural loss, a huge one. The Tarum plant was almost wiped out entirely, and with it, generations of ancestral knowledge were just forgotten. This is a massive failure to meet global goals for things like clean water and responsible production.
But, and this is a really important but, the story doesn't end there. Today, there's this growing movement of people who are looking to the past to find the solution for the future. They're reviving the ancestral art of natural dyeing. And just look at this. It starts from this humble cotton fiber, and it becomes this incredibly intricate, beautiful, sacred cloth. This is what that revival movement is all about. It's about reconnecting with the process, the materials, and the deep meaning behind the craft.
This mission statement says it all. This isn't just about making pretty fabrics. It's about safeguarding a cultural heritage. It's about preserving the incredible wisdom that their ancestors held.
The modern indigo movement is really this amazing holistic solution. It's good for the environment, it empowers local communities, especially women, and it reconnects us, the consumers, to the culture our clothes come from. It's basically a blueprint for a much more sustainable future.
So, this brings us to the final and most crucial question.
Because this really isn't just a story about a river in Indonesia. It's a story about the choices that all of us are facing.
Because this revival effort, this fight to bring back tradition, is now racing against another massive threat: climate change. The climate is changing the very conditions that the indigo plant needs to survive. The window of opportunity to bring it all back, well, it's closing.
And the data here it's stark. Scientists are predicting that by the year 2070, the amount of suitable habitat for this plant in the watershed could drop to basically zero. We are at risk of losing the plant and the very solution it represents forever.
Ultimately, the story of the Citarum is just this powerful reminder that our cultural heritage and the health of our planet are deeply, deeply connected. You can't separate them. Every choice we make, from the clothes we buy to the industries we support, is another thread in the fabric of our future. So the question is, what kind of world are we choosing to weave together?